protesters in Portland are being vanned. Federal agents and feds have been seen in Portland abducting people and putting them into vans. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we're going to talk about something slightly hilarious, slightly concerning, and downright insane. Apparently, in Portland, protesters and rioters are being abducted by federal agents and put into vans. Here you can see on Twitter, Justin L. Hunte says, unidentifiable, militarized agents are policing Portland, arresting people, and putting them in unmarked vehicles. Just because it left the timeline doesn't mean the fight is over. Black fist flag, black fist flag, black fist. And here you can see the following footage.
What are you doing? Use your words, what are you doing? Use your words, what are you doing?
I haven't done anything wrong.
Use your words. What is going on?
Use your words. Use your words. Did the rioters and the looters use their words when they committed all of these acts of destruction and chaos? According to the Portland police, over the 6 weeks of endless protests committed by left-wing activists and groups like BLM and Antifa, there's been over $23 million in damages. After all, that's what happens when a bunch of deranged leftists go out and destroy buildings, destroy shops, loot, burn, and steal. But as you can see, the feds have finally had enough. And this left-wing activist here, well, he's going in the party van.
Who are you?
Why are you taking
NLG will get you out. What's your name? Tell us your name.
What's your name?
Okay, you're fine, we'll get you out.
Bro, what? Alright,
We got you, friend.
we got you.
Oh, fuck.
NLG.
You just violated their rights.
Oh. Kidnapping people.
You just violated their rights.
Thanks for keeping them fucking. Oh.
What are you?
So as you can see, mysterious men dressed as agents, abducting people in the middle of the night, in the middle of these riots. It certainly is kind of spooky stuff. Now, getting party vanned, it's an old meme, but you may know of it. But in case you don't, here's a little quick explanation. The idea of the party van comes from 4chan. 4chan party van, here you can see on Know Your Meme. About. The 4chan party van is a slang term for FBI agents, by either referring to the van or posting an image macro about it. A user is pointing out to another that the FBI may have noticed the illegal or questionable content of their post and on their way to arrest them. One of the main reasons for this is that party van, when read backwards, says Navy trap. So the whole idea is federal agents coming out of nowhere, dragging you to a car, and taking you to prison, or who knows what. But truth can be stranger than fiction, because it's happening right now in real life. Now we're going to talk about this story, we're going to dig right in, and we're going to look at this whole insane situation. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell button for notifications for more content. If you like this video, please consider giving it a share. And why not visit my merch store? Introducing the Deus Vult Night Classic t-shirt. Impeccably designed. A magnificent knight stands on the battlefield. But what if you're a man of quality, you say? And you want to get the very best shirt there is. You can also find the premium tee. If you're interested, follow the link down below in the description. So here we can see on the Washington Post. It was like being preyed upon. Portland protesters say federal officers in unmarked vans are detaining them. Oh yes, these Portland, and I love how they say protesters. And that's what you notice about the media. Even though Portland is a war zone, they say that they're protesting. Those aren't protesters. Those are criminals committing acts of violence and destruction. Take a look at this, for example. In a vision of Utopia America, in a perfectly civilized society, men of peace are burning infrastructure. This, my friends, are not fires of violence or destruction, but fires of peace. See, they call these protests peaceful, but at the end of the day, none of this is peaceful.
Please, she has a health condition. Please.
I hope someone kills your whole fucking family.
That wasn't me, homie.
I hope they kill you too.
I hope someone burns down your whole precinct with all y'all inside. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
Yep, peaceful protesters. So, going back to the story here, let's see. What do they have to say? Federal customs officials said Friday that their agents had detained a demonstrator in Portland, Oregon, in a widely seen video circulating online that showed two men in apparently military garb taking a young man wearing all black into custody. Darn right. We don't negotiate with these terrorists. Defending the apprehension by describing the men as being suspected of attacking federal agents and property. The defense came as federal authorities were under criticism for their tactics from elected officials, civil rights activists, and demonstrators, including one in Portland who described being terrified during a similar encounter. How do you think the people feel of the homes you burned down? Now, I love how all of these protesters are basically playing the victim. But do you know what? Do you want to know the reality of the situation, folks? I want to show you this story on Fox News. This was published 3 days ago. Portland's unrest continues for 6 straight weeks with no apparent end in sight. So these so-called protesters of peace have been rioting and looting for 6 weeks straight. There has been nothing but chaos. And this is all thanks to the inept politicians who let this happen. I'm going to assume that Portland is run by a Democrat, because who else but a Democrat would let the city burn? $23 million in damages. See, this is what happens when you elect a Democrat. They allow these criminals to run on the street. Oftentimes, literally. New York City is quite literally releasing prisoners from prison. And crime is up. Why are they doing this? Because of COVID. But, the point remains the same. You have other Democrat politicians releasing rioters, letting them get off with no charges. And it is total nonsense. Federal officers have been attacked. For example, I don't know if this is the same guy, so I'm just going to read this, but this is from 3 days ago, and it says, just this weekend, a federal officer protecting a closed courthouse was struck in the head and shoulder with a hammer as protesters attempted to break down the court's door. The courthouse suffered an estimated $50,000 in damages, according to KGW. I don't know if the guy that got party vanned is the same guy that attacked this federal officer. But I do find it kind of interesting how the reason they're saying that they arrested him is because he attacked a federal officer. This happened in Portland. It could be the same guy. It really matches up, guys. I think we found a pattern. He was also accused of one, he hit the federal officer in his head, and then he hit him in the shoulder. And then they broke down the court's door, and the courthouse suffered an estimated $50,000 in damages. Now, let's compare this to the guy who got party vanned. In a statement on Friday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said its agents had taken the action in the video, and that they, quote, had information indicating the person in the video was suspected of assaults against federal agents and destruction of federal property, end quote. Wow, that's kind of a big coincidence there. Now, I don't know if it was him or someone else, because a lot of these insane left-wing activists have been committing acts of violence and destruction. Now, keep in mind, violence is violence. It is a crime. It doesn't matter who it is committed against. A crime is still a crime. And most of all, when you destroy federal property, you are destroying property that every taxpayer in America paid for. You're nothing but a criminal. And I'm actually glad they're getting party vanned, okay? Now, I know some people will say, it's kind of a slippery slope. We don't want the government to have the power to just abduct people on the street. Now, I can understand that, but at the same time, this is happening after 6 months of rioting, looting, burning, and non-peaceful protesting. So these were CBP agents who did identify themselves and were wearing CBP insignias during the encounter. They said that the names of the agents were not displayed due to recent doxing incidents. Of course, they serve and protect our country. They're only arresting these really bad folks And honestly, they need to arrest more. I want every single person who is out there destroying things put in jail, put in prison, punished, and, severely reprimanded. Because we cannot tolerate this incivility in a civilized society. Society has no room for people who want to act like savages. So, so how do you think that another similar encounter with these feds went down? Well, according to Mark Pettibone, a 29-year-old demonstrator, he was left shaken. I'm literally shaking, he told the Washington Post in an interview. Pettibone said he was scared when men in green military fatigues and generic police patches jumped out of an unmarked minivan early Wednesday. Pettibone said that when several men in fatigues approached him, his first instinct was to run. So typical for a left-wing activist, they're all soy cucks, they're all weaklings, and when it comes down to it, they're just cowards. You see, a lot of these people would never do the things that they're doing, rioting, looting, hurting, burning things down, if they weren't in a large group. It's also why they cover their face and hide their identities, because they're pussies. They cry when the feds come. Oh yeah, you better cry. You're a criminal. You need to face justice. Like a child acting out, you need to be put in your place and disciplined. It continues here. He did not know whether the men were police or far-right extremists who frequently don military-like outfits. You mean have a sexy sense of style? And harass left-leaning protesters in Portland. Oh, poor protesters! Oh, I'm sorry you're being harassed by these right-wing guys in these sexy uniforms telling you to stop looting, stop rioting, stop hurting people, stop shooting people, stop destroying America. Oh, you poor, poor babies. I hope you enjoy your free ride in your party vans. You're lucky it's not a helicopter. In his account, the 29-year-old said he made it about half a block before he realized there would be no his knees, hands in the air. I was terrified, Pettibone said. It seemed like it was out of a horror/sci-fi. Like Philip K. Dick novel, it was like he was being preyed upon. No, you were the one preying upon society with your unjust protest. What are you fighting for? Because you're not fighting for justice. Because you're committing injustices when you beat people. People have died in these riots, all because of these left-wing activists. They've got blood on their hands, and they still think they're the good guys. No. 8-year-old girl, I think a young boy, you guys are the bad guys. You guys are on the wrong side of history. You guys are the baddies.
All I'm saying is, look at us. We're dressed in black, we're beating people up, we're shutting down free speech, we attack shops. Look, if you look up fascism...
Yeah?
On the internet, that's us. Are you sure we're not on the wrong side of history? Are you okay?
And that brings us to Carrie Luna. Hey America, the feds are here in Portland, grabbing folks off the street and throwing them into unmarked vans. It's real, it's happening. Your city is next. What are you gonna do about that? I'm gonna laugh and celebrate. You know what? I think I will too. Because you get what you deserve. 4chan itself is celebrating this. They love it. They love the fact that these left-wingers are finally getting what they deserve and being party vanned into the streets. Here you can see 4chan making fun of the tweet we just read. The feds in Portland are grabbing people off the street and blah, 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 blah. Your city is next. What are you going to do about that? And in response, help them find them. Based and red-pilled. Oh man, that's hilarious. That's so funny. See, this is why I love 4chan. It's one of the funniest websites ever. Poll is such a treat. So when everything is said and done, yeah, this is hilarious, this is funny, but it is a little bit scary that federal agents are just pulling people off the streets. This is what I would normally say, but to be fair, a lot of these people who've been out protesting have not been peaceful. They've been violent, they've been committing crimes, and they've been assaulting people. That just cannot be tolerated. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. As always, if you like the work I do and want to contribute to the channel, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar for as low as $1. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server. If you want to donate, there's DonorBox and crypto. Links are down below, all that's in the description. And lastly, the best thing you can do for this channel is simply to share the content, spread those red pills, and red pill all those normies. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.